What is up, Know It All world? You are in tune to the Know It All podcast, and you've got two of your members here with myself and Big G. Big G, how you doing this week, man?
Sitting back, it's war week, man. It's war week for that team up north, man. I don't even say that word, but it's that team up north, man. So I got my camouflage war hat on, and I'm ready to get it in, man. It's war week, so let's do what we do.
Y'all know what that means. That's the Michigan Ohio State week. That song, I ain't never heard of a song like theirs. I hate the whole state of Michigan. I love it, man. When you can hate a whole state, that's lovely. That's lovely. But man, we like to thank you guys for being here with us on the podcast. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch so that when we go live, definitely you'll get that notification and you will be here, man. We are gonna be in and out today, man. Tate, of course, is under the weather and he's unable to be here with us today, but we still gonna keep rocking, man. But before we get into everything, man, let's get into this. And man, it was a big week in football this weekend, man. First and foremost, when we start looking at the schedule, it was a lot of big games. And I'm going to start with this NFC East game, Philadelphia Eagles and the Colts. Man, I'm going to tell you something. The Colts almost got them boys up out of here today, man. If it wasn't for that late second heroics of Jalen, they might would have lost, man. What you think about that Philadelphia game, G?
They escaped by the hair of their chinny chin chin. That's the only way to say it, man. They escaped. They have a tendency, man, to I don't know what it is sometimes about the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like sometimes they play to their competition, but they won, so that's all that matters. So, and I won the game because I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win.
Yeah, I mean, I picked them too. I just didn't. I mean, it was one of them things to me where the Colts was like hanging in, and I couldn't imagine. I was like, man, how is this even happening? Like for real, for real. But we started off the week with the Titans versus the Packers, and look, man, I thought obviously Aaron Rodgers found something with Christian Watson. He found something. You can't say he didn't. Christian Watson had 2 touchdowns again. He had a 2-tutty performance. Listen, Aaron Rodgers got one receiver, but I mean, the Titans just proved to be too much for him on that Thursday night game. But we're gonna jump set to the Bears and the Falcons. The Bears and the Falcons. Today, man, the Falcons escaped by the hair on their chinny chin. And I'm gonna tell you something. Marcus Mariota up and down, around, he find a way to win the game. I mean, you look at it, Justin Fields was decent today, 14 of 21, 153, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then he ran for 85 yards. That is the recipe for the Bears, but it just wasn't enough, man. What'd you think of that game today, Big G?
Chicago, like I keep saying, they're going to be close in everything they play because they found a quarterback, but he just doesn't have the weapons around him to make them competitive enough to even beat a team like the Falcons, because the Falcons have weapons. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Cordell Patterson. That's a lot more than what Justin Fields is working with. So like I said, when Fields gets weapons, look out, because they're really that good.
I mean, they brought over Chase Claypool. I think who's once he gets acclimated, it's going to help. I think he's going to help once he gets acclimated to that system. He's going to be all right, man. You can't just shake him up. Gee, you can't just
Hey,
you can't put
hey,
him off like that,
hey,
G.
yeah, he trash. We got rid of him for a second round pick, man. We won. He trash, man. Chase Claypool trash.
Come on, G. Come on,
It's the
man.
truth. It's the
But
truth.
we gonna keep it moving, man. We got the Jets versus the Evil Empire. Now, this was a last second just thriller, man. And the Jets gave it up on a special teams play, which was crazy. But man, I'm gonna tell you something. The Evil Empire got Zach Wilson's number, man. Zach Wilson cannot perform when it comes to New England, man. Gee, just talk to me about this. What is it that New England is doing that's making it so hard for Zach Wilson to throw the football?
Man, Garrett Wilson went off, man, about his offensive team performance, man. He was in the locker room throwing stuff around, kicking trash cans, yelling and screaming at people, and he's right. What it is, man, is that they got to grow up. The Jets, they have a good team. They have all the pieces, but they got to grow up. And until they learn how to grow up and win football games, you're not going to feel good all the time. You're going to play hurt. You're going to play sore. And they went out there and lagged an egg. So that's got to be an internal thing that's got to happen. That can't happen externally. That's got to happen internal, where the players start looking each other in the face and be like, look, bro, we came here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's win. And for whatever reason that Zach Wilson don't got that, I think it's because the program he came from in college, because BYU never did nothing. But
I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I honestly believe that you might be right. We got some comments here from Jesse Lowe. He said the Titans are my team. We will win against the Bengals by 13 next week. B-Dirt, that was a challenge put out there, man. I hear Shalom. I hear it, man. He challenging your team, man. And he said Chase is not the answer. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can say who's the answer, but he's not by himself, man. Lizzie, he's not by himself. Now, basically, I think what you said about Zach Wilson is right. You know, when you have pedigree and you come from a program that, is out here getting wins, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's an attitude that attitude of accountability that each player takes. And it's like, yo, we're not losing, and you need to suck it up, do your job. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's it. Or maybe they're just confusing him with a lot of these zone and man tweens that they're running in sets. I mean, because they'll show you a man and then jump to zone on him, and it confuses the heck out of him. I think he's really confused. I think he'll be a good quarterback. He's just not right there. He's not there right now.
Well, in my opinion, he's the third best quarterback in that draft class, maybe, and he's looking fourth in the face. So, you know, he's looking the fourth best quarterback in the face. So he's not really that good. I mean, that's both him and Matt Jones is not that good. So, and that's because they're not putting in the work to get better. They're really not putting in the work. That's why you've seen Justin Fields jump, because he's putting in the work to get better.
Yeah, and I agree. I totally agree, man. And in the next game, we got the Washington Commanders versus the Texans in Houston, in H-Town. The Commanders are starting to bring it on. They're starting to put it on, G, man. They figuring it out. Heineke over here, he ain't just a beer, man. What you think?
Tyler Heineke, man, is serviceable. I mean, he's Kirk Cousins or better, serviceable. But the issue with them, with the Commanders, injuries. When they get full strength, and because Chase Young was supposed to play and he didn't. So, and they still won, even though Houston is the worst team in the NFL. So if you give them an opportunity to get fully healthy, they're not going to make the playoffs this year. But I definitely do believe they can ruin the playoffs for one or two teams. So, and they're maybe a year away. They're one or two players away, but definitely a serviceable team that you wouldn't want to play and could beat anybody in the whole NFC at any time.
Agree. At any time, man, at any time. And, the Rams woke up a little bit today, made it scary. But, man, what about Chris Olave? Chris Olave is out here balling. You know what I'm saying? He is out here balling for the Saints, man. And, today, man, when you look at it, Matthew Stafford had 11 for 18, 159, 2 tutties. That's serviceable, man. That's really good. You know what I'm saying? Akers, 14 for 61. You know, some other people showed up today, man, but the Saints, when you look at it, Andy Dalton was 21 to 25, 260 and 3 tutties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chris Olave, 5 receptions, 102, 20 as a reception, 1 tutty. I mean, listen, man, he acting up. He acting up.
The issue, what I've been saying all along, and what I said at the very beginning, I said this year's rookie receivers is unbelievable. You know, so these kids, all of them can hurt you at any time as long as they got a guy that can get them the football. I mean,
agreed.
Drake London had 1 goal for touchdown. You know, just give them rookies, receivers the ball. They can score.
Agreed. I agree with you, G. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Man, and then now we got the Browns versus the Bills. I knew it wasn't going to be a contest at all. Sean Watson was in practice this week, you know, but hey, man, you still didn't have him out there on the field. So when you look at it, the Browns are shorthanded, man. But I'm going to tell you, Jacoby Brissett put up some numbers. 28 for 41 for 324 and 3 tutties, no interceptions. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. I think it's just the off-key plays he doesn't make that makes that team go. I mean, their rushing was just miserable today, man. I mean, 5 for 32 for Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb, 14 for 19. Man, come on, dog. You can't win games when your big running backs ain't out there getting chunk yardage. What'd you think about that game, G?
That's the whole thing. The Browns are built to run first. And when Jacoby Brissett's throwing for 300 and something yards, you know they're in trouble. So they're built to run the ball first, and they're not getting it done. They're not getting it done. So it's a wash season for the Cleveland Browns. 3-7. They're in the same boat. My beloved Pittsburgh Steelers is in. But we'll talk about them in a minute.
We definitely will, man. The Panthers versus the Ravens, man. The Ravens got it done late, 13-3. The Panthers defense stood up, man. They actually stood up and played a pretty good game, man. Baker Mayfield, 21 for 33 for 196. But get this, he had 0 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Come on, Baker, man. You can't win like that, bro. Like, that's trash numbers, man. DeAndre Foreman from Texas, 11 carries for 24 yards, man. It's really bad, man. But when you look at it, of course, you know, you see Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson thing. Hot trash. Baker Mayfield, hot trash. You see Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things, man. 24 for 33, 209, 1 interception. Kenyon Drake, 10 for 46, and Lamar had, 11 carries, 31 yards, and 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things, man. What'd you think about this game, G?
Yeah. And Lamar Jackson is that thing, bro. I mean, but once again, so Justin Fields is a one lower level than Lamar Jackson. They can take over a game, but Lamar Jackson has more weapons than Justin Fields. So, but Lamar Jackson, I would love to see Odell Beckham sign with the Baltimore Ravens. I would love to see it. Just to give him a chance, to give him a guy on the outside that could cause a whole lot of problems. I would love, give him a guy like that, and then we'll see what time it is with the Baltimore Ravens. But they're a good team, and you don't want to see them. They only giving up 3 points. That means their defense was out there busting heads.
And they got the guy from Chicago, man. They got the running back from Chicago who's a tackling machine. He's the water boy out there, tackling machine. You know what I'm saying?
Roquan Smith.
Roquan is the water boy out there, man. He's tackling everybody. I think he's hearing voices. Voices running around talking about, no, I love my mother. I love her.
Yeah. Seeing different heads on different people.
Talking about water.
You did that to my sister? Yeah. You did.
I know it was you.
You did. Oh,
I know it was you. Yeah, I mean, for real.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So the next game, lucked up on this one. Detroit against everybody. Detroit Lions came out and whooped the Giants behind 31-18. I mean, they took the whooping stick to him. Jared Goff looked like an all-world quarterback. 17 for 26, 165, no interceptions, no touchdowns. Jared Jackson, nine carries, 66 yards. Jay Williams, 17 carries, 64 yards, but 3 tutties. That's big. That's big when you on the ground and you're making it happen like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's big. G, talk to me about this game.
The Detroit Lions is not as bad as what we think they are. They're another team in that NFC Central that within a year or two, and they get another draft up underneath their belt, look out. You don't want to play them. I just don't know. I don't think Jared Goff is the guy, though. I think they're going to draft a quarterback. Stroud probably going to end up in Houston, but I would love to see him in Detroit. I would love to see him in Detroit with another weapon. You know,
yeah, we're gonna get through these next games pretty quick, man, because we got the next game, the night game coming up, Kansas City. The Raiders got off the snide today, bro. 22-16 against the Broncos. I'm telling you, Russ just ain't gonna get it done, man. He was 24 for 31, 247, but no touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, you know, Russ just ain't Russ just ain't gonna get it done, man. Russ is dumpster fire, man. He is dumpster fire juice. That's what he is right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Derek Carr, 23 of 37, 307, 2 touchdowns, 1 late. Of course, Josh Jacobs, 24 for 109. Josh did his thing. He did what he was supposed to, and he showed up. He didn't have any tutties, though. But I'm just saying Russ wasn't the answer. The Cowboys, and I predicted by 10, they upped the ante, and they beat them by 37. They beat the Vikings today, 40-3. That was an exciting game. I mean, they just took the whooping stick out. And I'm going to tell you something. Cowboys dominated from the beginning of this game. The Cowboys were pissed off about the Green Bay game. Michael Parsons he came out, started the game with a strip sack, and that was all she wrote. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The Cowboys just put on the Berserker Barrage. The Wolverines move on the Marvel game. They just pulled out the Berserker Barrage and just started handling, and it was over with. It was over with early in this game. The Bengals versus the Steelers. I'm gonna let you take this one, man. The Steelers lost today, 37-30, but it really wasn't that close. But talk to us, G. Tell us what you saw.
I told y'all that the Bengals was going to win. I picked the Bengals. I'm the only one out of everybody, and the Steelers is my team. And Tate was talking about my car got revoked. I told you we wasn't going to beat Cincinnati. Pittsburgh need to get a 5-12, 4 and whatever record, and get a high draft pick for next year, man. We need to pick in that top 5. We got to restructure that team. So we're going to take our lumps, take our growing pains, play good. I'm just glad Najee played well today. I was glad to see him have 2 weeks in a row where he actually played football. So one up to Najee, but we're going to take some L-dogs as Steelers.
Yeah, Jesse again chimes in and says Detroit needs corners. And he said, I believe KC is very beatable. The Titans got robbed when they played them. The red zone cheating is known in KC. I mean, I would say referees cheating this year is a whole solid. I mean, did you see the call in the Vikings Cowboy game, which was just ridiculous to me, man? I mean, you wait till they kick the field goal, and first of all, the Cowboys took a timeout, and you couldn't challenge then. Like, you wait until after they kicked the field goal to challenge, and it didn't even come from the Viking sideline. It came from the booth. It was just different, bro. Like, I mean, the referees in this year's NFL football season really need pay demotions. We need to just, pay y'all like y'all ref. I bet y'all start making correct calls then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start affecting their money, y'all start making some correct calls. But I'm going to tell you something about that Pittsburgh Cincinnati game. Samaje Perine, Austin Kidd, 3 touchdowns receiving. Wow. Yeah. This is a running back who had 3 touchdowns receiving. And I'm saying, man, you know, Joe Burrow had 24 39, 355, 4 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions. TJ Watt got 1. Welcome back, TJ Watt. Welcome back, young man. I'm happy to see him there. You know, but it was close, but it wasn't that close, G. It was close, but it wasn't that close. We
For
got
sure.
the Chiefs game
Sure.
getting ready to start, but before it does, man, let's jump into this college football real quick. Yesterday, Tennessee got the brakes beat off of them. He said, "Go Bucks." Tennessee got the brakes beat off of them, but it wasn't because they had their whole team. They lost their quarterback, Hooker, with an ACL tear. He is gone for the year. That makes them a different team, bro. That makes them. They're not the same team without Hooker back there. Running the offense. And you definitely see you still got the Georgia Bulldogs in the league. Ohio State ranked number 2. Of course, we got the big game, Ohio State and Michigan 11-0 coming in here about to see each other. And who knows, probably to see each other again. Then we got the TCU Horned Frogs at 11-0. They are number 4. They've held strong at number 4. And they won a nail biter at Baylor this weekend. They almost lost it. But, hey, good teams find a way to win the close games. That's what happens. USC, I'm very impressed with. What about you, G? I mean, they're 10-1. Who was they only lost to?
USC lost to Utah on a last-second field goal earlier this year.
It's a good team, man. They beat UCLA 48-45.
Yeah. There's only really 8 teams that can make the playoffs, bro. Really, just to be honest. We're down to 8. It's Oregon, LSU, Clemson, TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia. Those are only the 8 teams that can make it. However, pandemonium can break loose in the next 2 weeks. So
it absolutely can.
I don't have the time. I don't have the time to go through all the scenarios. But I'm just letting everybody know. Everybody I just named, those 8 teams, everybody still got a shot based on their schedule, who they play, and when they play. There's 8 teams that can still make it.
I said this early, and I'll say it again so that G will hear me, and he knows I'm telling the truth. I called Texas losing to TCU that first game.
Mm-hmm.
They play them again, mm-hmm. TCU's taking the nail. So they'll be gone. And that could really very well happen if Texas takes care of their business against Baylor this next week, Thanksgiving week. You could see TCU out of the mix for the college football playoffs. And then you got, people like LSU moving up. You got people like USC moving up. LSU is ranked number 6. Alabama number 7. They're playing Auburn this week. Clemson at number 8. Tennessee fell to number 9. Oregon at number 10. State still holding on at number 11, bro. That's big.
Yeah, but that AP poll is trash. The college football poll is going to come out Tuesday. Going to tell the story. And I really do believe that they're going to have the Trojan boys up there. USC, I think, is going to probably jump to 5. I think LSU will stick at 6. And then I think down from there will be maybe Clemson at 7, Oregon at 8, probably Bama at 9, and Penn State at 10. But there's only really, like I said, there's only 8 teams. The water's real muggy right now. Come after Saturday, we're going to have a clearer picture. But still, pandemonium can break loose. Because there's a scenario where you have 6 one-loss teams and 2 undefeated teams with 5 conference champions with 1 loss. What in the world will the playoff do if that happens? That can happen. You can have 6 undefeated, 6 teams with 1 loss, 2 teams that are undefeated, and 5 conference loss, and a possible conference champion with a 2-loss, be it the SEC with LSU winning the SEC. Pandemonium will break loose because who can you put in? There's only be 2 that could get in for sure, clear, and that will be an undefeated TCU and the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Those will be the only 2 that will be clear-cut playoff. Everybody else, I don't know.
But I don't think so. I'm telling you, G. If Texas beats Baylor and it's Baylor, it's TCU versus Texas for the Big 12 championship, Texas will beat TCU that second time around. Did you see what they did to Kansas yesterday? Bijan Robinson had 200. Hey, listen, they found something on offense that I've been telling them to do all year, which I don't understand how it's so big. But you run the ball, you play action, you hit your open wide receivers. It's easy. When you got an all-world running back,
Yeah.
it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all, man. Anyway, G, give us your parting shots, man. Talk to me. Give me a parting shot.
Man, it's hell week, man. It's hell week, man. It's rush week. It's time to handle our business, button down all the hatches. Let's get it in, man. I promise you. Listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say it on the KnoItAllZ. People ain't gonna like me for saying this, but I'll tell you this. If it's clear skies down there in Columbus, Ohio, on Saturday, the game's gonna get out of hand real fast. Ohio State is gonna blow them out. And I'm telling you right now, here first, Jackson Smith and Juka will play in the game. You heard it here first. He will play, and he will have a huge impact on the game. Believe me, trust. I can't tell you how I know, but believe me and trust, I know that Jackson Smith and Juka is playing in the game on Saturday. He's playing. So we're gonna see.
We'll definitely see, man. And listen, I mean, it's rival week, and I hope you guys are gonna handle y'all business down there, man. I mean, you know, is Corum gonna play for Michigan? Is Corum still hurt?
Corum's gonna play.
Okay,
he's hurt. But
he's I know he went down with a knee injury. He went down with a knee injury. It looked kind of bad. It's good to see that he's gonna play. Man, my parting shot here, as always, is I love to thank you guys for just rocking with us, you know, being with us here when we talk sports, when we talk culture. I appreciate you guys for that, man. But my parting shot is real near and dear. I'm going to say this, man, and I'm going to be real with you. Watch out who you hang with. Bad company corrupts good character. And seeing this young lady being taken to a whole nother country, beat, and you know, left for dead, and she died, it's sad, man. And it's one of those things where I tell all of my young listeners, man, everybody who's with you ain't your friend. Everybody who's around you is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? You can always tell who's supporting you by who's clapping when you know you're being celebrated. Watch who's clapping. Watch who's not clapping. You know what I'm saying? People are around you for different reasons. And never assume that anybody is gonna not do something to you. If you go somewhere, always have your antennas up. Please, man. I'm just telling you, bad company corrupts good character. Watch out who you hang with. Please. This is my parting shot this week. I appreciate you guys again for hanging with us. Of course, you know, if you like the content that you're receiving, make sure you like and subscribe. Like and subscribe us on Facebook and on YouTube and Twitter. When we go live, you'll get that notification saying that we're there. I'm gonna tell you, we're picking up more watchers on Twitter, and I appreciate you guys that are watching, man. But for myself, for G, and for Tate, I'm gonna tell you guys, we're definitely, he said, go Bucks. We're definitely gonna have our pick'em show up, man, and it's heating up. It's heating up. We're in the last weeks, and I'm telling you, man, it's getting hot. But for myself and for G and for Tate, we out of here, man. Peace. See you guys next week.